Okay, we're going to get started on another techno devotional. See how this goes. We're working through the book of Ecclesiastes, written by King Solomon, and what he's doing is towards the end of his life, he's trying to give us clues as to what is the meaning of life. Where do we find our significance? Where do we find our purpose in life? And it's not going to be in the stuff we can see under the sun, and that's his premise here. What I can see with my eyes, the stuff under the sun, is vanity. It's useless. We need to look behind the scenes. What is behind under the sun? And there we'll find our purpose. So Solomon is qualified to do this. We saw that the last couple of messages. He's qualified to do this because he's the king of Israel in a time of peace. He doesn't have Philistines knocking at the door looking for a war. He has time. And he has money. He has a lot of money. So he did all of this homework, so to speak. We also see that he's qualified to do this because of the vast experiences that he has that he can draw on to make his conclusions. And we also saw he's qualified because he was diligent about seeking out wisdom. As much as he did a lot of really dumb things, he was processing it properly, if you could say that. What we're going to see now, he starts his experiments now. He's got his white lab coat, he's got his clipboard, and his first experiment comes under the heading of pleasure. Is the meaning of life going to be found in pleasure? And he processes a bunch of different options for getting pleasure. All right, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to pray, and then we'll get started. Jesus, we ask for your help. We ask for your help with what we're learning. I ask for your help that I be able to speak your words and help us to understand what's going wrong in our society and what is your voice and what are you speaking to us about what we need to do. So we thank you for your word. We thank you for this guy, Solomon, and the wisdom that he's trying to give us. Give us hearts and minds to understand the wisdom and use it. We pray this, Jesus, in your name. Amen. Okay, Ecclesiastes chapter 2, starting at verse 1. I said to myself, come now, I will test you with pleasure. So enjoy yourself. And behold, it too was futility. I said of laughter, it is madness. And of pleasure, what does it accomplish? I explored with my mind how to stimulate my body with wine, while my mind was guiding me wisely. This just cracks me up. My mind's guiding me wisely while I get drunk. Yeah, right. And how to take hold of folly until I could see what good there is for the sons of men to do under the heaven for the few years of their lives. This last part of verse 3 really gives us insight as to what he's doing now. It says, I'm doing all of this. I'm pulling all of this together so that you and me, we can see what good there is for the sons of men to do under heaven the few years of their lives. This is instructions to us from Solomon. What's the meaning of life? He's trying to give it to us. He has an intention here and why he's collecting all this data. All right, so the first thing he says here, chapter 2, verse 1, I said to myself, come now, I will test you with pleasure. Yahoo! Let's have a great time here. The idea of testing is to examine carefully. It's what Daniel asked in Daniel chapter 1, verses 12 and 14. It's what he asked the guards who were watching him. They said, party on, Daniel. You're going to be a king's advisor. And Daniel said, no. I'm not going to party. I'm going to live a biblical lifestyle, and I'm going to eat a biblical diet. And you test me. Check me carefully, because if they messed up, the guards would be forfeit their life. Check me carefully and see what happens after 10 days. They checked him carefully for 10 days, and after 10 days they said, yep, Daniel's got the answer here. That's the idea. You can see the same thing in Psalm 26, verse 2, this examination. So Solomon is examining himself carefully so he can communicate to us the purpose of life. The first thing he's looking at is pleasure. Test myself with pleasure. Now, this fits as a category. Everything else is going to come underneath this. So pleasure is a general category. This is basically hedonism. This is what we have in our culture. This is the air we breathe. That if I can have more pleasure and more pleasure and more pleasure, if I pursue pleasure long enough and hard enough, I'll be okay. My life will be significant. When what is that bumper sticker? He who has the most toys when he dies wins. That's the idea here. It's just nothing but seeking pleasure. This is overwhelming us. The Greek equivalent for this word is found, and the same concept is found in Jesus' teaching here in Luke 12. This is the guy who was got very rich, lots of crops, and thought, what am I going to do? So he built bigger barns, right? And this is what happened to him. So he's built all these bigger barns, and he says, I said to my soul, soul, you have many goods. You're really, really rich. You have many goods laid up for many years to come. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. That's the same equivalent word for pleasure. Verse 20, God said to him, you fool. This very night your soul is required of you, and now who will own what you have prepared? You fool! You have spent your life collecting pleasurable things, and now you're going to die, and you have nothing. You have nothing of significance. That's the idea here. There's something going on behind the scenes, though. It's not just simply it's foolish to collect pleasure. Someone is trying to derail us. We should be seeking God, but no. Seek pleasure, seek pleasure, seek pleasure. Go to Hebrews 11. Verse 25, and we'll see that there is an enemy out there. There's two teams. He who is not for me is against me. He who does not gather with me scatters. That's Matthew 12, verse 30. And we'll see the enemy here, what he's trying to do. This is referring to Moses here, the author of Hebrews. Moses had to make a choice. Am I going to follow in as my legal right as Pharaoh's son through his daughter, or am I going to follow the people of Israel and be persecuted? He said this, choosing rather to endure ill treatment with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin. Sin is pleasurable. By all means, sin is pleasurable. But it will kill you in the end. It is passing. And there's an enemy out there who wants to pursue it, and then it's too late. Or you can start pursuing God. We have that choice to make. Moses made it. He made the right choice. All right. So the idea of, and then he says here in verse 1, he says, and enjoy yourself. Okay, and this too was futility. The idea of enjoying yourself is just whatever your heart wants. Just go for it. You deserve this, and on it goes. All right, chapter 2, verse 2. The next thing he looks at, he's looked under this heading of pleasure. He says laughter. He says laughter is madness. Now, when he's talking about laughter here, the word is yitzhak. It actually is the root word that Isaac's name is from. Interesting. The idea here of laughter, though, is it's not that it's wrong to laugh. It's not wrong to laugh. Enjoy yourself and laugh, but that is not your pursuit in life. Don't be pursuing that as if the meaning of life was found in that. Always got to be watching some stand-up comedian or something like that. Go to Ecclesiastes 7, verse 6, and we'll see that laughter will lead you in the wrong direction. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 6. Where are we here? For as the crackling of thorn bushes under a pot, so is the laughter of a fool, and this too is futility. The crackling thorn bushes under a pot. When you set fire to thorn bushes, they burn fast and they burn hot. And then you have nothing. You can't cook dinner on it because it's not going to be there very long. It's the idea with laughter. It's not that it's wrong, but ongoing pursuit of laughter, there'll be nothing significant. You'll have nothing left, not even enough heat to cook your dinner, so to speak. That's the idea here. And when he says here that laughter is madness, he doesn't mean that it's mental madness, that you're going to lose your marbles or something like that. Mental madness, marbles. That's not what he's getting at here. He's talking about moral madness. You will slide. If you pursue laughter, you will start to come undone morally, and you'll slide into evil things. Go to Ecclesiastes 10, verse 13. You'll see more of the same. Ecclesiastes 10, verse 13 says, it's talking about a fool, the talking of a fool. Okay, the talking of a fool. The beginning of his talking is folly. The end of it is wicked, madness. Same word as madness. It starts just as sort of chatter and fun, and we're just in kind of whatever, but then we slide into wickedness. We slide into evil if we pursue this as a lifestyle. What it is laughter is, in a sense, it's a release, but it's a losing of control. Once in a while, it's okay. Okay, but an ongoing losing of control is contrary to the Spirit of God. The Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Self-control. If we start pursuing this reckless lack of control, we will get into trouble. 1 Peter 5:8. Let's look at that, and it'll give us the sort of counterpart of what happens when we lose control. Again, there's an enemy out there. There's only two teams. And if you're pursuing laughter as a meaning of life, you're on the wrong team. All right, 1 Peter 5:8, be of sober spirit, self-control, in charge of your head. Be of sober spirit, be on the alert. Why? Your adversary, the devil, prowls about like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. If you are constantly giving over to uncontrollable laughter, or if that's your pursuit in life, you're sliding into the enemy's camp and it won't end well. I remember being called one time because there was a pajama party. This is a long time ago, and I wasn't even living here. But at a pajama party where a bunch of giggly girls were giggly girls, and 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they're giddy, they're tired, and it's becoming nonsensical. And suddenly they had some serious demonic problems. Then I got the phone call, and it's fine. We dealt with it. It wasn't a big deal. Laughter will eventually drop you in the wrong place. All right, verse 3. Ecclesiastes 2, verse 3. I explored with my mind how to stimulate my body with wine. This just kills me. I've tried this before I was a Christian. It doesn't end well. I stimulated my body with wine while my mind was guiding me wisely, and how to take hold of folly. Two things. I'm going to drink to find the meaning of life, or I'm going to just take hold of foolishness to try and find the meaning of life. All right, the drinking, you become an addict. It does not end well. You will not find the meaning of life there. You won't be able to escape there, not for long. It's going to do more harm than good. Same with drugs, any kind of addiction. Proverbs 23, verse 29. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? How did I get hurt like that? I don't know what happened. Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who linger long over wine, those who go to taste mixed wine. Do not look on wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. Come on, just one drink. First one's free. At the last, it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. You will see strange things. Your mind will utter perverse things. This is the lack of control where Satan can get in there, your adversary, the devil. And you will be like one who lies down in the middle of the sea. If you've never been drunk, you don't know this, but sadly I have. And it's this roller coaster. You're trying to go to bed and you're lying down on a roller coaster. Not good. Or like one who lies down on the top of a mast. Go ahead. Take a snooze on the top of that. You're going to fall off, right? Just stupid. They struck me, but I did not become ill. They beat me, but I didn't know it. When shall I awake? I will seek another drink. Crazy stuff. All right, that's the idea here of the drinking. It is futility. It is bondage. It's not going to end well. And then he talks here about seeking folly. This is the idea of seeking whatever impulses you've got. Whatever you desire, go for it. Pursue it. It's your desire. It's got to be legitimate. Fill your boots with it, whatever. Solomon did that. And if you want to look at it, go to 1 Kings 4, 22 to 23. In one day, he would eat enough food, his household, and eat enough food to feed approximately 20,000 people. Party animal, okay? Whatever he wanted, he went for. And his conclusion here is that it's all vanity. Pleasure. It's not going to give you any significant meaning in life, but we can't stop there. We can't leave you hanging there. That's what the world tells you. It's not true. The Bible says something different. And Solomon will get to this. Go to Psalm 4, verse 7. Where does the meaning of pleasure, where's the significant pleasure that we want come from? It says it here. You, God, you have put gladness in my heart. True joy and gladness comes from God. You have put gladness in my heart, more than when their grain and their new wine abound, more than when I'm filthy rich with all my crops, or more than when I've got my grain, my money. In Psalm 11 verse, 16 verse 11 says, in his presence is the fullness of joy. Do you want joy? Do you want pleasure? Then you draw close to God. He will draw close to you, and you will find your significance. You will find your peace, and you will find your joy, and you will find your fulfillment. So the world says, and Solomon did the experiment, pleasure, 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 and you'll be okay. The Word of God says, draw close to God, and you will get that fulfillment, not a worldly counterfeit. All right, that's enough for now, and we'll see you next time. Bye.